Morning students, welcome to your computer class. Students, today we are going to discuss further and more about Visual Basic. So in yesterday's class we learned about a brief description about Visual Basic as to what is it used for, why are we learning it, what is the difference between QBasic and Visual Basic. So let's do a quick recap of what we learned yesterday. So students, first of all, we learned about the word program, which we come across very frequently, where we discussed about that it is a set of instructions which tells the computer to perform a specific task, that is called as the program. Then we learned about Visual Basic, which is also popularly called as VB or VBA. We learned about Microsoft as an organization which developed the Visual Basic in 1991. Then we learnt about Visual Basic being a graphical user interface, which means we will be using buttons and we'll be using clicks to perform an action, unlike in QB64 where we were just writing all the codes there. So next thing we learned about was the IDE, which is the Integrated Development Environment, and the Event Driven Programming Language. Now next we also learned about how to start or how to open a Visual Basic 2010 Express. So students, when we complete the theory portion, we will be doing one practical session on the video, and we'll be trying to develop a small application and see how all these features are used to develop a application, especially when we are working on an application. So we also learned about the components of Visual Basic, students, if you remember, where we first discussed about the title bar. So let's do a quick recap and try to understand what we learned here, because this is very important and most of the components we are already familiar with because we have been using this in Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Access, every other apps. But there is a slight things which we have not used it before. So those things we are going to focus a little more. So first thing I'm going to talk about title bar. If you remember, yesterday I said that when we are talking about title bar, it shows the name of the file or the application which we are working on. Remember, during practical examination and practicals, when you do, I just walk around and I identify whether you have saved the file in a particular format or not. That is only because by seeing in the title bar, you don't need to see anywhere, you just look into the title bar and you yourself can identify what name you have saved the file to. Next thing comes is the menu bar. Menu bar has got lot of displays options. If you remember, we discussed about file, debug, run, all those buttons which you see there are there in the menu bar. Then we spoke about the toolbar, which has got the sub menus, buttons, and small icons which as a shortcut which you can use it. So they are mentioned somewhere else also, but these are the most commonly used ones when you are doing an application, when you are making an application. These are the most common ones we use, hence these are the toolbar we use. Next comes the main window. That's the main working area which normally is used to to open a file, especially when we are working on any file. So even the form as an example opens up in the main window. Next comes is the form window. That's the main area where we work on, and that is the place where we will be, so that actually forms the base of an application. Whatever application we will be making, that will be based on the form itself. So whatever development we do, it will be on the form, kind of a paper sheet, and whatever drawing you do on it depending upon your requirement. That's so same thing goes with the forms and the controls and the buttons which we are going to place it on the form. Next we learned about the toolbox. Toolbox is exactly same what we learned earlier in Microsoft Adobe Photoshop and Adobe Flash. The toolbars, the toolbox, right, all the options which are placed there, we use those tools to work on it. Adobe Photoshop, we use those tools to work on it. So this is also the toolbox which we use to work on the program. Next come is the Solution Explorer. Now Solution Explorer, if you remember, yesterday I spoke about how it displays the lists of forms and other applications which we use. So generally it is in organized form, and to if you want to open any object on it, you can just go ahead and double click on that icon and the solution window icons opens up. Next comes is the properties windows, and the property windows tells us the appearance and behavior of the object. So whatever controls, whatever buttons we are placing, what will that button do, what will, so if you understand the behavior of it, what is the color of it, what is the name of the font, and what are the, if you're putting any kind of a design, so all those informations we can see it in properties window. For example, if I have to examine your application, I don't need to go and look into the form or the controls or the buttons which you have placed there. I can just go and look into the properties window, and I can understand that which font you have applied, which color you have applied, and which border you have applied for that particular button. So students, if you also remember, yesterday I spoke about how that dialog box, the yes, no, cancel dialog box, which we use especially when we are working on a computer, right? So whether you click on yes, what will happen if you want to save a file, what if you click on no, what happens, if you click on cancel, what happens, if you just close the button with the top close button, if you click on it, what happens. So everything has got a program written at the back end. For you it is just a click. For you, if I click on yes, the file should get saved, but in the background there is a series of program which is running, which tells the computer that since you have pressed the yes command, this means you should save the file and not delete or cancel it. So these dialog box generally are used. Then we discussed about small applications which we make, like a small calculator where 2 plus 2 is 4, or if you want to make any kind of a digital converter which converts kilometer into meters, or all those things you can make it using Visual Basic. So small applications, even the apps what you see in most of the your Android phones, some or the other way they are related to Visual Basic. So next comes is the modes of programs. So students, what are the modes of programs? Mode of programs means there are 3 steps or 3 different categories in which a program works on. The first is the design mode. That is the first step for us. In design modes, we create the application. Now, when we are creating it, we also apply certain kind of logical statements to it. So when we apply logical statements, it goes ahead and executes the program. If you just create a program and don't provide a statement, it would be just like a dummy dialog box. Whenever you click on yes, no, or cancel, nothing is going to happen there. Next comes the run mode. Now in run mode, statements are written by the programmer and it is executed by the end user. What is this? For example, there are different options. We will be learning it later into how many ways we can run a program, which I am going to talk about it later in this chapter. So there are different modes. So when I have created the application, how am I going to test it? How will I know whether my app is working properly? To do that, I click on the run option. So whenever I click on the run option, my program gets executed and I will come to know whether my program is functioning well or not. Next, and the third step is the brake mode. Brake mode, as it suggests, suppose you're going in a car and suddenly you see any kind of an animal just walking in front of your car or your bike or your bicycle. What do? You immediately apply the brakes. Why do you apply the brake? You apply the brake to avoid any kind of disaster, so any kind of untoward incident. To avoid that, you apply the brake. The same thing we do here. When an application generates an error and you don't get a desired result, then we halt this execution by using the brake mode. So brake mode also removes the error or identifies the errors and tells us that this is the problem with the application, and we go ahead and correct them. So brake mode is kind of a guide for us, which tells us if in case if anything goes wrong in the program, it will tell us what is wrong in the program. Next, here comes our practical part of the chapter, which is developing an application. Now, what are these steps involved in developing an application? Now the first thing we do is create a form. So first thing we do is creating a form. Now what is a form? You remember the base which I was talking about few minutes back, in which we place different controls. For example, we are planning to make a calculator. The first step what we are going to do is we are going to add the form to the working area. So that will gives us the steps to create a form. Second step is placing controls on the form. What are the controls? See, there are two things we are going to mention about controls here. First thing is I need to have a button there, right? So suppose if I am making a calculator which tells me that first number plus second number gives me the total. So I need a button there which is calculate. I need a field there where I should get an option to type the number, right? What should be the field color, right? How many alphabets it should accept? Will it accept only numbers or alphabets? Now here I am creating a calculator. Now calculator cannot calculate a plus a and give you an answer, right? So similarly, I will have to put a condition there that it should accept only numbers and not alphabets, right? So that's how we place the control on the form. Next thing is we set the properties for controls. Now what are the properties for controls? Property is what, like for example, the first thing is when we are creating a blank field, there should be a cursor there. Then only we'll be able to type something. If there is no cursor, then we will not be able to type anything there. So the cursor should be there. That's the first condition. What should be the background color? That depends upon you. You can keep it white, you can keep it red, you can make it colorful. So those conditions depends upon you. So how you go ahead and set properties for different controls. Fourth comes is the writing code for events and added controls. So writing the program, what happens when I click on calculate? When I click on calculate, obviously the two numbers should get added, and in the last column the answer should be displayed. So that's the program we will be writing it. So, and last comes is executing the project. After creating everything, after I have set it the rules, that last thing comes is testing, which is called the executing the project. That is where I check whether the calculator I have created works good or not. So next thing, so we learned about creating a form, how we create a form. We learned about placing controls on the form, how we drag. And this I'm going to show you in the practical when we are finished with the theory. We'll try to watch this in a video and understand how this happens. And generally there are two methods of placing controls in the form. So in method 1, you double click on the control toolbox and the control gets added on the top left corner of the form, and then you can drag it to the desired location, so wherever you want. And you can resize the control by holding the four corners and making the button bigger or making the button smaller. The second method is to select the control in the toolbox and then drag the control to the form. So as in the first method, it will come into the form area and then you can resize it accordingly. Next is setting control properties. What properties do you want? You will first select the control, then go to the properties window and change whatever. You want to change the font, you can change it. You want to apply color to the font, you can do that. You can want to change the color of the button, you can do that. So all these controls we can apply it there. Now in next class we are going to learn about commonly used controls. What are the commonly used controls here and how they are helpful to us. So this brings us to the end of the class. So homework, we will be discussing true or false, and answer the following question number 2, which is what do you mean by event driven programming. So there is one extra question also here, which is a long answer question, which is name and explain the components of Visual Basic IDE. So what we are going to do here, we are going to just write the name of the component, and you can just write one word about, in one sentence you can mention about what it means. So this is a long answer question, so obviously the answer should be a little detailed. You just don't write the name and leave it. There should be some description also to it. So I hope today's class you were able to get more information about Visual Basic, And just in case if you have any doubts or any questions, then please use the comment section and I'll be happy to assist you. So thank you, students. Thank you for your time.